Hi, this is Bill Pinus, and I'm very excited to have Dr. Michael Snyder. Dr. Snyder received his PhD training at California Institute of Technology, and he carried out his postdoctoral training at Stanford University. He's a leader in the field of functional genomics and proteomics, and he's also one of the major participants of the ENCODE project. Good. And speaking of actionable information, you had made, and I'm going to make sure I get it right, that there were two accelerated bursts of aging at 44 and 60. Can you explain a little bit about that study, what those bursts are, and what does that mean to people like you and me?
Yeah, so we track people over time, as I mentioned, this group of people, and we follow them, and most things don't change much, but you can see markers that are shifting in people. And it turns out we had a study in about 2020, where we saw that people's markers were changing and everybody was changing differently, meaning for some people, their cardio biochemical pathway was changing. They were cardiac agers, if you will. For other people, it's metabolic agers. For others, kidney, and so on. For others, immune. So we call these ageotypes. People have very, very specific aging patterns, and it's highly actionable information, meaning if you're a metabolic ager, you might see that certain key markers like glucose and hemoglobin A1C are shifting, and you can take action and improve those markers. And I'm not saying you get younger, but I do think you can improve your health markers in any case, which we think is valuable. And so as we were doing the study and seeing, that people are aging differently, we just asked a basic question. Everybody thinks of aging, and well, you gradually get older and older. We said, well, maybe there's times where there are more changes than others. So we looked for what we call nonlinear aging. Are there times when things are shifting? And a lot of our molecules age in a nonlinear fashion, but there were two big bursts. There was one in the 40s, as you mentioned, another in the 60s. Now, the one in the 60s we did expect. We know that disease risk goes up. We know that your people lose muscle mass. We know that your immune system declines, and that's why you get vaccinations as you hit your 60s, so you're better protected. And we did see all that. We saw changes in muscle proteins and immune markers and things. We saw other things as well, changes in kidney function and carbohydrate metabolism. So that was kind of expected, and we learned some new things. But the surprise was the one in the 40s. Yeah, we said 44, but don't take that number too seriously. It's, plus or minus. Think of it as you're hitting your 40s. We do see big shifts and biochemical changes. And once again, we saw changes in muscle mass and skin, like we did in the 60s. But we also saw changes in lipids, which are like fat molecules, you probably know. And we think that's important because people's, lipid metabolism shifting puts them at higher risk for coronary artery disease, things like that. And also, if you think about it, if you look at people's body shapes and fat deposition, it does change as people hit their 40s. And so we're actually picking that up. And we see changes in caffeine metabolism and alcohol metabolism, believe it or not. So there's quite a bit going on there. And we don't know for sure the reason for all this. What we think is going on is that people, as they hit their 30s, are probably getting a little more sedentary than they should, maybe not eating as well as they should. And so we think it might be catching up with them. And so I'm a big believer in, fitness, eating right, sleep, all that sort of stuff. Happy to get into that.
Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you like what you heard and you were inspired by it, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe for more. We'll see you next time.